After working with thousands of dogs and their owners, I've learned this. Most serious behavior cases are not really about obedience. They're about underlying behavioral issues that haven't been correctly identified.
This is the USA Dog Behavior Podcast with Scott Sheaffer. Scott is a certified dog behaviorist specializing in aggression, fear, and anxiety in dogs. If you're dealing with serious behavior challenges or want a clearer understanding of how behavior really works, you're in the right place.
In today's episode, I want to talk about something that honestly surprises a lot of people. Today's episode is titled, 4 Reasons Some Dogs with Behavior Issues Improve and Others Don't. And they're usually not about the dog. After years of working with difficult behavior cases involving such things as aggression, fear, anxiety, reactivity, and separation anxiety, and so forth, I found there are 4 major predictors of success. But interestingly enough, these predictors are usually not about the dog. They're about the owner. Let me tell you about the first one. And the first one is belief. This is probably the single most important factor, and it's why I have it first. If an owner genuinely believes improvement is possible and that they can do it, they can affect that change, that mindset changes everything about how they approach the process. And it's not only about them thinking they can do it, but them thinking their dog can also make that change. But if they come into the case emotionally defeated from day one, success becomes a lot harder. I'll occasionally hear statements early in a consult that goes something like this. I don't think this dog can be helped, but I figured I should try something before euthanizing the dog for this behavior. Now listen, I understand where that comes from, believe me. Living with a dog with serious behavior issues can be emotionally exhausting. Really can be. Some owners are burned out, embarrassed, that's a big one I see, scared, frustrated, are grieving what they hoped life with that dog would look like. And it's really kind of sad to see those things, and they're real. But hopelessness creates problems. It affects motivation, consistency, follow-through, emotional energy, and even how owners interact with the dog on a daily basis. The owners who tend to succeed are not necessarily the most skilled owners. They're not dog experts, but they're often the ones who maintain realistic hope and stay emotionally engaged in the process. Not fantasy. We're not talking about denial, just belief that improvement is possible and that they can affect it and the dog can learn it. Belief that you can do the necessary work to improve your dog and that the dog can improve matters tremendously. Belief helps us get through many problems in our lives, not just with our dogs. Patience is the second of 4 predictors that predict success in dog behavior change. Let's think about patience. Behavior changes take time. And honestly, I think modern culture has made this a lot harder for people. We're surrounded by quick fix thinking at every front. Fast results, instant solutions, before and after transformations. Then people enter the world of canine behavior and discover something frustrating. Real behavior modification can be slow. Fear, aggression, anxiety, reactivity are usually learned emotional patterns that developed over a lot of time. Naturally, changing those patterns also takes time. Unfortunately, television and social media, as 2 examples, have conditioned people to think difficult cases can be solved quickly and completely. They can't. I've also seen a lot of damage done by people selling quick fixes through punishment techniques, shock collars, prong collars, that kind of thing. Sometimes the dog temporarily looks better, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But unfortunately, the emotional underlying issue is getting much worse. And I speak and write about this in a lot of my other episodes and blog articles. Eventually, that emotional pressure often resurfaces in other ways when punitive measures are used to fix, quote unquote, behavior problems. Real behavior work is different. In the real world, using animal science, it's not like that. What we're trying to do is to gradually change how the dog emotionally experiences triggers and situations in their environment. And that's a process. And unlike humans, dogs can't sit down on the couch in therapy and verbally process their emotions with us. So yes, because of this and other reasons, patience matters enormously. Let me take a second to tell you about a service I offer. When we get back, I'll pick up on the third predictor of success.
Scott will be right back. For animal shelters, rescues, and veterinary practices working with aggression, fear, or anxiety in dogs, Scott Sheaffer provides professional behavioral seminars available online or on-site, focused on practical, real-world strategies. Each seminar is customized for your team with discounted or complimentary options available. Visit usadogbehavior.com to learn more. Now, back to Scott.
All right, let's get back to it. Here's the third predictor of success when working with dogs with serious behavior issues. And that third one is realistic expectations. This one is kind of difficult for many owners to hear. Dogs with significant behavior issues are rarely ever completely cured. I know people don't like hearing that, but it's the truth. If somebody promises to completely eliminate severe aggression, fear, anxiety, etc., from your dog, I'd be very cautious. There's a big disconnect in this person's experience and or truthfulness, to be honest. The realistic goal of behavior modification is not perfection. That's not realistic. The realistic goal is meaningful improvement. We want the dog more functional, safer, more confident, has more agency, as we like to say in the behavior world, more emotionally stable, more comfortable living in their family's world. That's success. Another important reality is that progress is usually not linear. This is a big stumbling point for a lot of people. Owners often expect improvement to happen in a nice, straight line upward, but behavioral recovery usually looks messy. And that's true for canines and people. There are setbacks, plateaus, regressions. Then suddenly, months later, over time, the owner realizes the dog is functioning dramatically better than before. Voila. The improvement path is usually jagged. We're looking for trends of behavior change, but that doesn't mean progress isn't happening. And finally, the fourth predictor of success in behavior modification is consistency. This is the quiet factor that often separates successful cases from unsuccessful ones. Behavior work can become repetitive and tedious. That's the real world of animal behavior modification. Owners don't always feel like doing the exercises. I get it. Life gets busy, motivation fluctuates, people get tired. I understand that completely, but consistency nonetheless is critical and necessary. Behavior change never happens because of one magical training session. I'm going to say that again. Behavior change never happens because of one magical training session, but you would be amazed how many people expect just that. It happens because of repeated correct experiences over long periods of time. Sometimes owners underestimate how much those small daily repetitions matter, but they do. But those repetitions are often exactly what rewires behavioral patterns over time. And honestly, experienced behavior professionals can usually tell pretty quickly whether owners are consistently doing the work at home, i.e. their homework. Think of your high school teachers. They always knew when you didn't do your homework. I took piano lessons when I was a little kid. My piano teacher always knew when I haven't been practicing. The difference becomes visible quite quickly. Well, let's wrap up. What have we talked about in this episode? When I look back over the thousands of behavior cases I've worked with and their people, these 4 factors consistently stand out. Belief that the dog and you can do it. Patience. Give yourself and the dog time. The dog did not learn these behaviors overnight. Realistic expectations. The dog is not going to be 100% relieved of its issues. It's not going to be 100% fixed, but it can be dramatically improved and made more functional in many cases. And then finally, the 4th, consistency. Doing the exercises, being consistent with the dog over time. None of them are flashy. None of them are sexy, as I like to say. None of them make exciting television, but they are real. And they are some of the strongest predictors of success in serious dog behavior cases with serious, dedicated dog owners. Interestingly enough, you've probably noticed they usually have far more to do with the owner than the dog. Now, you understand the real story behind your dog's behavior.
You've been listening to the USA Dog Behavior Podcast with Scott Sheaffer. For more resources, including videos, articles, and past episodes, visit usadogbehavior.com. If you found this episode helpful, consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Thanks for listening.